Hey, what's up guys? Thank you for clicking this video. I've been living in my tiny house for about a little bit more than half a year now, and I absolutely love tiny house living. It's kind of magical in a way that I can't explain, but I do know I feel a ton of peace and ultimate relaxation when I'm at home because it's a space that I've made to suit my taste and all of that. Anyways, but as I've been living in the tiny house, there are a few things that I kind of regret or I would change. But the amazing thing about living in your own home is that if there's things that you don't like, you can always fix them or change them or make modifications to suit your taste. But as I'm in my tiny house, there are three things that I realized that I kind of regret. And so I'm just gonna dive right in. So the first thing are the floors. I have two types of floors in the house. I have hardwood floors in the living room area and in my bedroom, and in the areas where I have wet spaces, so that's the bathrooms, the kitchen, the laundry room, I have tiles. And I chose wood tiles because I did want the home to have natural, earthy, organic looking textures, so I didn't want to go with regular tiles, so I chose wood tiles. And I love these tiles. They're very rustic looking, they look lived in, and that was the kind of feel that I was going for. And I really love the hardwood floors because, you know, I like the creaking when you're walking through the home because it feels like a haunted house. I don't know how to explain it, but I really love the hardwood floors as well. I love the graining and the textures and the variation of the colors. But one of the things I realized is that I didn't think about how they would blend together. Separately, they're beautiful. I love the tile and I love the hardwood. But together, I don't think they blend as seamlessly when you're walking throughout the house. But obviously, as I'm able to do more things and make more changes, I can figure out whether I want to either cover the hardwood floors and do the same tiles that I have in the kitchen and the bathroom and the wet spaces, or I can buff the hardwood floors and stain it a darker or deeper tone in order to match the tile. And I think I'm going towards the latter because I really love the hardwood. I love seeing it, you know, feeling it. I love the texture. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to clean because I have to be super careful about what I use to clean the floors. But I think in the long run, I'm probably going to change it and buff it, get rid of the stain that they used and do something a bit darker and a bit moody. The second regret that I have is that I actually wish that I went a little bit smaller. I get this comment all the time that my house looks really big. It's not a tiny house, it's huge, it's massive, yada yada yada. And I don't agree with any of those. I think it's still a tiny house. It's in total around 600 square feet, so it's not a massive space. But in terms of tiny houses, it does feel really spacious, and that's because, you know, the tall ceilings, because I went 10 feet wide instead of 8 feet wide, which is traditionally how wide tiny houses are, because it's L-shaped. There are a ton of reasons why it feels really spacious. But I do think that I don't need this much space. I do use every part of the house, and I'm in most parts of the house almost every day. Like if I'm in the kitchen and I have to quickly use the bathroom, I use the guest bathroom. Or if I'm doing laundry, or if I'm in the living room with the dogs, or I'm in my bedroom because that's where my workspace is, you know, or if I'm in my bathroom because I'm having a bath. You know, I'm always in every area of the house. So I do utilize every space, but I do think that I could have gone a little bit smaller because it does feel still really big for me. It's just me, and so I'm quite a crab. I'm a Cancer, so I'm quite a hermit. And so I love cozy spaces, and that's why I chose dark floors and the dark ceiling beams, because I still wanted it to feel a bit cozier. I do have a lot of light colors in here to make it feel airy, but I do think I have a bit more space than I actually need. And so I wish I went a smidge smaller to make it feel a little bit more cozy. But I do know that there are things that I can do to make the space feel spacious but cozy still. So that's my second regret. I wish I went a little, just a smidge, a tiny, 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 tiny bit smaller. And the final regret that I have is that I wish I considered storage a little bit more. And I know this is contrasting with my second regret, but storage in the sense of where I would put my clothes or where I would store, you know, just excess things that I have around the house. I really am trying to live a more minimal lifestyle where I don't have a lot of things, where I don't accumulate a lot, but I do still have some stuff, you know, like clothes. I have cleaning supplies, extra linens, extra bedding, extra towels. I didn't really consider where I would put them. And so I wish that when I was building the house that I would have worked with my architect and my contractor to figure out what storage would look like. Under the house has some spaces and I really would love to build in storage drawers, but that's a bit later on when I have, you know, when I'm able to do that. But for right now, I'm trying to still figure out where every little thing has its place. And even though that's a really, you know, fun part of the journey of living in a tiny house, I wish it wasn't as complicated because I feel like I'm a little bit ADHD, and so it's really difficult for me to figure things out in a neurotypical way. I don't know if that makes sense, but it would just have been one less stress for me to worry about. It's not a lot that I regret about living in the tiny house. I wish I had more money to be able to do more things, because obviously I could get things done a lot quicker when you have the resources to be able to do that. But in all, I'm still really happy about the decision I made of building a tiny house rather than a traditional house. This space is my home and everything about it is a reflection of who I am, and so I really love it. As I live in the house and as I'm able to, I can make the changes and really mold it and craft it into the ultimate tiny house space for me and hopefully a husband. But yes, all right, so yeah, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying till the end, watching till the end, and I will see you in my next one.